Oh, we're live. We'll do that
Yep.
later.
Welcome to the world. This is the Great Show, episode number 2.
What
I'm
up?
Great, and this is 5.
Yes, sir. Father Dark Knight in the building. Big shouts to the borough of Queens all day.
All right. Now let's get this going. We're here to talk about Falcon Soldier. I should have changed it to Blacked in America, which I think is a little bit more fitting. Blacked in America.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. Battlestar had to go though. That name was hard.
But they did right. They got him up out of there. They got him up out of there.
The character was cool. The name was awful.
Yeah, but just like the character was in the comics, short lived.
Fair point.
And deservingly so. He did really all they really needed was him to be the catalyst to get John Walker over the edge.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
They needed a device, and he was the device.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so you want to start from where do you want to go with this conversation? Do you want to take it for the top tippy, or you? Okay.
Let's go with the film review and the backup of the characters. So this will be real quick as we explain where the characters came from. If you have been in the box and you haven't been watching the MCU movies, and before we get any further, spoiler alert: if you haven't watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
To its conclusion, yeah, you may not want to watch this.
Check out, watch that, then come join us. If you've watched it, you're good. We should
have a seat, strap in.
You know what I mean? So first, we'll start with Captain America, the first Avenger. I liked it. Loved that flick. It was a really good flick.
That was great flick.
This is where you have the introduction of James Buchanan. That's Bucky. Sergeant Jim Buchanan, who actually, where they show in that movie was Steve Rogers' OG, pretty much just beating up people for him and taking them out, introducing them to the girls around town, you know what I mean? Just his big homie.
We looked out for.
Absolutely. After Steve takes the serum, Bucky gets down with the Howling Commandos after he saves them from a Hydra lab where they were already testing on Bucky. Then later, Bucky falls off the train with a horrible scream that you hear for years to come, mixed down in the Winter Soldier's, I guess.
We find out
his new track.
We find out that Hydra snatched him up when he fell, and that's how he ripped his arm off, falling down. And then they pick it up in the Winter Soldier, where Bucky was frozen, but unlike Cap, he wasn't frozen like 60 years. He was frozen, thawed out, mess with, frozen, thawed out, mess with, frozen, thawed out, mess with. I mean, the most horrible thing you can imagine for a good dude to have to go through.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. And the people, the collateral damage of his work was so far-reaching and long-ranging. And
still seeing
the Civil War movie, even though, sidebar, I really hate that name for that movie because it wasn't Civil War at all. It was more Avengers Disassembled than it was Civil War.
Okay.
That's just a comic book junkie in me, you know what I mean?
No, I can feel Avengers Disassembled.
A lot more. That's kind of what it was too. The breakup of the Avengers.
I can feel Avengers Disassembled more than Civil War.
I mean, having Spider-Man in it as a kid made absolutely no sense to me. But we're diverting. Let's get back.
Right. We're talking about that. Soldier. We're introduced to Sam Wilson as the Falcon. You get the on your left. You get that good camaraderie build up with him and Cap.
And it also introduces Sharon Carter.
Agent 13, who was just the girl next door, just doing her laundry from the from the infectious ward, allegedly.
Held it down against Crossbones with that captain's orders, and I jumped out my chair when that went down, bro. Oh my god, that was like one of the best scenes in cinematic history to me. Captain's orders. What?
Cap's orders. I got a theory. I'll end with that. Coming back to that. Moving into Civil War, which the name we're gonna get into.
Yeah.
We're introduced to Baron Zemo,
who actually is a collateral damage byproduct of Age of Ultron.
Right. From Sokovia.
Correct. And I love how they tied all of that back.
Hi, Baron Zemo. They also introduced Red Wing for the first time, which
no. Red Wing was introduced prior. He was actually introduced in Civil War.
That's where we at right now.
No. Okay. My bad. Yeah, I was thinking. My bad. You're right. You're absolutely right. I played myself on live television. That's what's up.
In the beginning, when Natasha would not think that thing.
Yes.
It's cute.
and the little, it's funny that the little comedic back and forth between Winter Soldier and Falcon started in the movie. In the backseat of the car when Cap was driving.
Yep. Yeah. In that movie, we have Winter Soldier assassinates Tony Stark's parents, which I think was really messed up. That one was like, whoa. Whoa.
That little nugget, right?
Whoa. That was big. And that leads to, let's skip to the end where, Captain America and the Winter Soldier just wind up jumping Iron Man. And Iron Man just used the damn armor.
Not really jumping him. I mean, it was more like Cap.
That's me and my big homie. I just said it on you, son.
Yeah, listen. We've been on both sides of that coin. You understand what I'm saying?
Me and my big homie about to just take care of you, son. Real quick. Here, take the shield.
Yo, but it was not. See, to me, it wasn't a plan though. It was like, Winter Soldier was letting Iron Man whoop his tail, and Cap just couldn't let that happen, mainly because of all the times in his life where Bucky stepped in for him.
Yeah, because he
could and felt like, listen, if you was in your right mind, you'd understand everything that went down. But you mad right now, Tony, and that's not cool either. You're using all your powers and stuff, but you're not doing it to avenge nobody. You just mad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to calm that down.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep, you can't gloss over the other very important factor too. Baron Zemo killed King T'Chaka to set Winter Soldier up. And that's why the Dora Milaje was in the building after Winter Soldier let him out in Falcon Winter Soldier. So we got to go back to that too and make sure that that's connected so that all of the characters are embraced. And then there's a few that were not introduced in the MCU, but were very vibrant in the comic books. And we're going to get into those in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. So Winter Soldier gets his arm blasted off, and we go into Infinity War and Endgame where they don't really have too much. Back it up. You have the White Wolf scene, which was kind of interesting.
That's key. That's also key because when Cap dropped him off there to heal up, to heal his mind, Bucky learned peace. He learned that he was human again. And in that aspect, he was healing, and that was the healing place for him. And the bond he created with obviously members of the Dora Milaje, along with other members of Wakanda, they were very important and very important to him. You know what I mean? So all of that you see, and that's why that's one of the many, many reasons why I really enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it really, similar to WandaVision in a way, it opened up that MCU universe and dropped it down into the lower levels of basic human understanding and interaction. And it introduced a lot of those elements in the smaller fragments and parts of the larger story. The movies are always great about telling the larger story, but these shows have been wonderful about telling the much, much, much smaller story.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that whole thing with Sam even just being in Louisiana and his sister and the boat and the issues and the baseline issues about the GRC and all of that. And then going back to the ramifications of Cap and them reversing pretty much the peace and the prosperities that actually Thanos gave them. It's and that aspect is so weird too. It's like the snap might have actually been right.
It's not weird. No, it's
what I mean?
It's the whole point. Was Thanos wrong?
Apparently he wasn't. But like he said, we were so attached to the way things are that we couldn't see past that for the way things possibly could be. And the 5 years of those people living past the snap saw that. There were no more borders. There were no wars. A lot of that stuff was eradicated and gone. And suddenly appears again when Tony and them, quote unquote, saved everybody and brought everybody back. And at the time we cheered, yeah, that's right. But now we see the ramifications of that. And that's some of the stuff that I really, really love about the writing and the way that they really constructed this. It's a heck of a follow-up to the great picks that they did. So,
well, you can have an argument on both sides. You know, I mean, did you really mess it up bringing people back? You know, you now that people are gone and you moved into a bigger home, and now you're mad that people are back. Was that necessarily a good thing? Every place wasn't flourishing. If you look at Endgame, when Ant-Man came back, San Francisco was messed up. There's trash in the streets. It wasn't that fantastic. You have the perspective from Torres, who testifies, no, it wasn't that great. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you have a lot of grief counseling. You have Kat with those meetings with, you know what I mean?
But remember, that was at the very beginning of the snap. That wasn't years later. That was at the very beginning. It was like
was it
6 months to a year after it happened. Then remember, then you go back.
Was that before Tony came back?
Say that again.
Was that before Tony came back? Yeah, it was, because he tried to explain to. Wait, she said, if you tell me everything's gonna be all right, I'm gonna throw this peanut butter sandwich at you. Natasha, she said that to Kat when he came in and he was talking about the 2 whales that he saw in the Hudson. Was that before Tony came back? Right.
Yes. And remember, they went and killed Thanos, and that didn't work. And that's when they found out that he already broke the gauntlet and all that. That was all right after.
Right, but when Ant-Man came back,
then Thor left.
When Ant-Man came back, it
was almost right after as well.
No, when Ant-Man came back is right before everything changes. Because when Ant-Man come back, that's when they put the team together. That's when they put everybody together. And then they have the quantum bands and they go back and change everything.
Fair.
So that's right before.
San Fran was still kind of dirty and stuff, but other places were thriving. And that tells me that eventually America also would thrive.
Mm.
But at the same time, you do make a great point. And the funny thing is, WandaVision actually taps into that because we would not have had Monica Rambeau.
Right.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't have her because she was going in the snap.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's the way they play it.
WandaVision wouldn't happen because Wanda was going in the snap.
Right. Right. Absolutely. All right. So now let's jump to, I guess, the comic book. No, not yet. Not yet. The comic book backgrounds, because we set up the backgrounds for the MCU universe. But we got to talk about U.S. Agent, who is a small character, but he kind of more so did his thing with Dark Avengers, more so than anything. You also got to bring up Isaiah Bradley, who was the Black Captain America straight up and down during the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sharon Carter as her own entity. Then you got Power Broker. Power Broker is important.
Power Broker is what? Power Broker is what? A company? Essentially?
No, it's a company, but it's head by a dude. So the way they flipped it, they made it Sharon Carter and brought her back storyline and melded it with Power Broker was dope.
Wait. So I don't think Sharon Carter is the Power Broker.
She is though.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. They said it in the last episode. She is.
Who said it?
Her
and
and Kara, the
wait, did they? You have to go back and watch the episode.
I just literally watched it like an hour ago.
Listen to what I'm doing.
Yeah,
there was only Batrocc's assumption. There was only Batrocc's assumption.
No.
When Carly said,
Carly
said to her, when she said
Power Broker, she did say it.
No, listen. Sharon Carter said to her, "Come back and work for me." And she said, "We're just going to be your muscle." But what's the Power Broker without the muscle? She never said that. Come back and work for me as the Power Broker. It does not line up with the violent text that the Power Broker was sending to Carly for Agent 13 to be the Power Broker and have that type of civilized conversation with Carly face to face. Agent 13 is not the Power Broker. She was speaking to someone on the phone, which also clears that the Power Broker is not Thaddeus Ross.
The person she was talking to on the phone was her assistant, who they introduced.
How do you know that that's an assistant? There's
because
nothing
she
in that
gave marching orders. Fed. She gave
she did not give marching orders. She gave the okay.
Hold on. She said, "Hold on. Let me." She said,
she gave the okay. She gave the okay to bring in your buyers.
She didn't say your buyers. She said, she didn't say your buyers, fam. No, she didn't.
She said, bring in the buyers. She gave the okay to bring in the buyers. If you're in an organization, you're part of the system. Nobody owns it individually. So if you're going to say bring in the buyers, we all own it. We're part of this organization.
Giving marching orders. Who are you?
No, you're not. You was not giving marching orders. I'm telling you.
Who are you to give marching orders? You gotta watch that over again. You'll see.
Nah, you gotta watch it over again. There is no direct mention that Sharon Carter is the Power Broker. She never says it herself. It may be alluded to, it may be assumed to, but I'm telling you, no.
Listen,
why would the writers embarrass themselves having the pronouns all through the whole show being he?
I hear what you're saying.
She's not, and the MCU has never been shy of a villain coming out clearly announcing themselves. Why hide it any further? She never said it. Yes, I am the power broker. It was Batrock's assumption. Oh, you're the power broker.
It wasn't Batrock's assumption. It was a conversation he was listening to
Batrock came out the back and said, oh, so you're the power broker.
Because the girl said it. I mean, come on.
No, she did not say it before that. After that,
all right. We got to move on. We're going to be stuck on this point the whole show.
I'm telling you, because when he asks, "Are you the power broker?"
He never asked, "Are you?" He never said. He never asked the question.
He said it in French. Look at the text.
He didn't ask it.
It's in subtitles. Yes, he is. He said, "Oh, so you're the power broker." He asked.
Yeah, he didn't ask it. You just said it's a sentence, right?
No, Batrock said that. He said it in French. Oh, so you're the.
When you play this back and listen, you be like, all right.
No, when you play it back, you're gonna be like, "Oh, Mike was right." He said it in French. Oh, so you're the power broker.
I said that.
I watched the subtitles.
Question. You just literally said, "Are you the power broker?"
No, it's a question. Oh, you're the power broker. The way he said it. Yes. The way he said it. That's a question.
Yes, that was said. Right on.
That's a question, though.
Yes,
that's a question. That's not an announcement.
It's okay.
No, don't say okay like that, because it's a difference in English statements. One is a question and one is a. When is the
most important part of the Falcon?
When it comes out that she is not the power broker,
go to the next point.
I'm telling you, she's not the power broker. Go into the comments.
She's not the power broker. Okay.
No, go into the comments. That the power broker was Carl Malice and I forgot the other guy's name. I know Carl Malice was one of them, and I forgot the other guy name who in the comics formed the Power Broker Company.
Who?
The Power Broker.
What about it? I'm confused. Now I'm lost.
You're talking about the comics. You wanted to go into the comic history of the characters.
Well, okay, briefly to introduce the audience to who these folk are. That's literally it. So,
in the comics, the Power Broker is
a dude named Jackson.
Curtis Jackson, right?
Yeah,
and
50 Cent.
50 Cent and Carl.
With 2 S's, bro. I'm telling you, Curtis with 2 S's.
And Carl Malice. They put in Carl Malice in there. I'm telling you.
And remember, the Flag Stomper is an actual character in the comic books. Yeah. And they use his cause as the Flag Stompers.
Smashers. Flag Smashers.
Smashers. The Flag Smashers. But Flag Smasher is a really small character in the actual comics.
Yeah. He's a single character, and they just use him as a group.
Right. So I thought that was really cool how they added a whole bunch of the comic elements as well as the MCU elements to this show.
Nah, with Zemo's mask, you know what I'm saying? Isaiah Bradley, his grandson, you know, we got a hint to the younger Patriot.
Yes.
No, there's a lot going through, you know, U.S. agent wearing the black outfit. I wanted him to make the shield like the curved joint that the U.S. agent had. You know what I'm saying? Like
they kind of moved on from the shields stuff.
Yeah, I liked how in the series they had his shield just sounded like a car door. It definitely wasn't vibranium.
Yeah, it was just kind of folded up and beat the hell like.
Right, you don't have no Wakanda plugs. You got no Wakanda plugs, which makes me get back to the most infuriating thing about the MCU.
Okay.
How come everybody but Rhodey is getting hooked up by Wakanda? Why? Everybody but Rhodey is getting hooked up with Wakanda Tech.
Hold on.
Everybody but Rhodey.
Stark Tech. That's why. Stark Tech. Ain't nothing wrong with Stark Tech.
Nah, man. My son got to wear. My son got to be in leg braces because he got to be down with Stark Tech. He's dead, man. Go get you some Wakanda beads in your back. Fix your spine, Holmes.
Wow.
Holmes. Go tell Sherry, just put a bead in my back.
Wow. Doing Stark Tech dirty. Wow.
Listen, it wasn't me. It was Shuri. You know what I'm saying? Why did you do these overlays?
So you never know. Armor Wars is coming. So stay tuned. Maybe Brody gives some Shuri stuff in his bag.
Shuri let you know. Like, why do you have so many connections here? What is going on here? Like, what are you doing? What are y'all doing over there? Is that a think tank or something?
You wow. Yo, but see, now we're jumping ahead. We're jumping ahead on this one.
No, get back.
Because now you're going to his uniform at the end, so we jumping ahead a little bit.
Listen, we just so happen to get there.
Episode 5 and 6. Oh, go ahead.
What other? What'd you say?
I was gonna say episode 5 and 6, Truth, and then the finale were by far my favorite 2 episodes. Truth was so damn heavy, bro. I mean, they laid down the Tuskegee experiments, you know what I mean, and a whole bunch of other things, you know, all encapsulated in that. And I thought the writing in that was brilliant. And I thought what they brought out and the feeling and an emotion. And honestly, listen, I served in the U.S. Army for 8 years. I'm proud of it. But it wasn't without a measure of gravity. It really wasn't. You know what I mean? There was a lot of, you know, African-American nationalism, so to speak, that I had to consider. You know what I mean? And things that I was hearing and dealing with. So when those things came back into the fold in this episode, I was really, really, really like keyed in. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the gravity that Isaiah Bradley was talking about because I understand it. And, you know, the way that Sam Wilson embraced it and flipped it, I really, to a very, very deep personal level, I really enjoyed all of that. You know what I mean? As a vet, I was like, yo, y'all kind of nailed this. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of emotional moments especially in the finale. For me, there was a lot of emotional moments. Like, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, episode 5, where the episode Truth, man, that was the joint for me. And that's what really okay. Bear with me on this one for a second. Black Panther was the introduction of the first African superhero. So to our core, we all embrace that. This show introduces us to the first African-American superhero in a lead position, not as a sidekick or a extra or the friend of the main guy. By the end of this, Sam Wilson is the main guy, and I dig that.
Yeah. Nah. That's the best part of the whole at the end they show you Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Headline. And
yo, but that's that conversation he had with the senator. Heat rocks, yo. Marvel writers were not scared to go there, and I'm appreciative that they didn't back down in that moment. They let it out. They let them have it, and I appreciate
that. Moving forward in the MCU, I think the better conversation is the conversation that Sam had with Bucky, where It was two conversations. One where Bucky acknowledges they never understood what it would mean giving the shield to a black man.
Yeah, that was deep. I dug that.
You know what I mean? And then on the reverse, it was Sam giving Bucky the tough love of
oh, when they were playing catch with the shield. Yeah, that scene was cool.
You know what I mean? And that, you know what I'm saying, that culminates, if anybody had any questions of why Sam is Captain America and why Steve didn't give the shield to Bucky. Because like I said before, Bucky was his big homie. So if you passing something on, you're not going to give that to your big homie. You're going to pass it on to the next dude who's getting these gems from you. And who's also going to get the gems from your big homie.
And who your big homie's going to need, especially with you gone.
To show them the new way of how things should be done. You know what I mean? So I appreciate how they came costume to, and I got lucky. I posted that picture. I posted that picture before the episode came out. I didn't know they were going to come to the T to the
costume. And as we do it, right? Yeah, that was beautiful.
You know, because Bucky got plugs in Wakanda. So
right. Ayo. I know I messed up, but here you go. And yo, can you do me another favor, just real quick?
Nah. It was, you know what made it real? It was she called him the White Wolf.
Yep.
Instead of Bass down you, James. Bass down you, James. White boy, get out of here. Oh, okay.
All right, White Wolf.
Wakanda for a while, White Wolf. All right, I'm good. Look, I can't come on the block, but I need something from the block.
Now, you know what's really funny, though? A lot of people don't even understand the origins of the White Wolf. The White Wolf was Chaka's adopted white son from somebody that he done captured.
Was he adopted? No, he survived the plane crash or something.
Because
he survived the plane crash,
and Chaka found him or something like that.
Yeah, he survived the plane crash.
He eventually adopted him.
He went through the trials.
Yes.
He went through the trials.
And so, yeah, there's a white boy in the T'Chaka family tree. T'Challa has a adopted brother who is the White Wolf. So I love how they incorporated that even in that story. You know what I mean? So again, to me, the MCU, they do a pretty good job most of the time of putting these together. I do have some issues, but that's irrelevant and not germane to this conversation.
No. They don't have any issues if you take it as the MCU is its own universe. You know what I mean? And I think Multiverse of Madness may explain that a little bit more.
I am looking forward to that, yeah.
If you take it as its own universe, then there's no reason for you to compare Bucky as the White Wolf to the White Wolf from the pages.
No, that's not what I was doing. I was just giving background text to the comic book. That's all.
No, but that's how I've started, you know what I mean, just understanding how to take on these interpretations in the MCU. You know what I mean? It's its own universe, and let them write it and don't hold them to what was written on the pages years ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're gonna call something, then at least have something about the comic that was in it. That's my only beef. Because Age of Ultron.
No, not really. Because
but Finn. Let's not divert, man. We got to stay on top.
We divert from what? We here to have this conversation.
I feel you, but there's so still in Falcon and Winter Soldier that we haven't even touched on yet that I don't want to divert too much attention away from that. This show was heavy. 6 episodes, man, and it was heavy. You know what I mean? They gave a great story. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm excited about where they can go with it, but like the growth that each individual had in this, like Sam being the reluctant Shield, he did not want to have the Shield at the beginning, and I felt like he knew why, but he couldn't actually say why. But then later on, as everything progressed and he met Isaiah, which was really the door opener for him mentally and spiritually even. And that journey that he went through to embrace his Blackness with the Shield. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love how he said at the end, listen, I know it's coming. When he told the senator, there's a million people right now mad that I got this thing. No doubt. You know what I mean? And we saw that when Barack Obama got elected president. It's the same thing. Once he took on the quote-unquote Shield, that's when the hate came. You know what I'm saying? And so to reflect that in this was brilliant, in my humble opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many layers, man, that you can pull back for years. We can have a conversation about this Falcon and Winter Soldier intellectually for decades, really. And the freedom that it allows Black people is very interesting. There's so much that I can glean from this. I'm telling you, man. I could talk for hours philosophically about this.
So, in the first episode, we have Sam surrendering the Shield, and he goes on a solo mission. You also see Bucky in therapy.
Yep.
And he's also having flashbacks of some more of the trials and tribulations and the things that he's done as the Winter Soldier.
Right.
We go to him beginning to make amends or working on making amends.
He's in the middle of the process, but he's reluctant to truly do the work, I feel like.
So you have some of those interactions. You got I think you mentioned it before. A real interesting part was when Sam went for the loan and they denied him the loan because he had no income for the past 5 years.
Yep.
And then they dug even further to how does he make money as a superhero?
Right. Again, lower level stuff, man, that it just touches on that's brilliant to me.
Yeah. That goes back to like Avengers Disassembled, where it was revealed that, Tony Stark in the comics, Tony Stark was bankrolling the Avengers.
Right.
And that's where Wanda make him look like a wino. And he couldn't he could only afford to feed himself. So he had to cut everybody else. And Avengers just couldn't afford to be, you know? So it was like goodwill. How much goodwill is there?
Right.
But listen, people need help, man.
And it also alludes to, how do superheroes make a living when they're not superheroes?
They don't.
Yeah, I mean, you got a part-time job. Well, I mean, Spider-Man had a full-time job as a photographer, and then he be Spider-Man, so at least he had an income.
Listen, I've always said
he ran a school. You know what I mean? He had an income.
I've read comics my whole life. A villain ain't nothing but a broke superhero.
Or a rich one. Like Dr. Doom and them had bread. You know what I mean? Yeah. They was bored.
Ill intentions.
Fuck shit up. Like, oh, excuse my language.
What you think about Sandman? You know what I mean? I'm just out here trying to get money for my daughter.
Yo, again, you know what I mean? But that speaks to a whole nother level of why criminals do what they do. And that alludes to Carly.
Right.
She wasn't a terrorist. She was trying to avenge things right. And it just got flipped. So again, all of that.
We're going to have to wait for the Snyder cut on that.
I don't think there's going to be one.
We need that, but we need that vaccine, and we need that vaccine story to make Carly that more of a humanizing villain. You know what I'm saying? I think it's part of the story that they took out because of COVID and sensitivity for COVID. that made like the Mama Danya and the Carly Morgenthau part of the story very confusing. And it left Carly Morgenthau's character kind of was unnecessary at the end of the day. And I think
I don't know about that. I think even without the backstory, the way that Falcon understood her and using that as his vehicle partly for emergence as well, I think it still served a really, really good purpose.
Yeah. I just think that vaccine aspect that they edited out that made some of those cuts that made part of the show would have brought it full circle that much more.
And you're right. Maybe we will see those edits one day, but still, I don't think it killed it too much.
No. Second episode, we had John Walker with his memories, and they introduced Battlestar, and he's you see John Walker practicing with the shield, which I always get a kick out of, because it's like, that shield doesn't have what Spider-Man said. It doesn't obey physics.
Right.
I think it's just all over the place, and seeing Sam at the end work with it, figure it out, get his game right.
That montage was dope, bruh. That montage was dope.
Yeah. In the second episode, you have the fight scene on the truck with the Flag Smashers, and you have U.S. Agent jump in with Battlestar.
Right.
And I think the best part of those fight scenes to me is Bucky. Just Winter Soldier real quick. Here's your shield. Who threw this? Who threw this? I had a Winter Soldier moment. Oh, who threw a knife? Who threw this knife? Somebody threw. Who threw? Y'all around here just throwing shit, and I just Winter Soldier out. Whoa, son. You know what I mean? Because he always comes back and reminds you, I got the real super serum. I got the real second serum, really.
Right. But another interesting dynamic about that is an underlying thing, but I think it's very cool. For the first few episodes, John Walker, Captain America, is trying to convince Falcon to be his sidekick. And it's not even so much that, listen, I'm not going to be your sidekick. I was Captain America's sidekick, the real one. It's more of, dude, I ain't following you. If anything, you follow me. And to me, that's a quiet little undercurrent. And like, dude, the only reason why you are even where you are is because I gave up the shield. If I didn't give it up, you wouldn't have it, and you'd just be the regular soldier dude from the army doing great things.
Yeah. No, and to Sam's credit, I wasn't no sidekick. Sorry, son.
Right.
That was in trouble, and he came to my crib for salvation.
Exactly. And then I have been getting his back since then because he needs.
It's while Cap was doing some other shit, I really had to figure out this dude that's still with me. I was the one running around finding out where Bucky at.
Yep.
I was the one.
I'm the one who found Ant-Man.
Me.
I'm the dude, fam. You got
connections in the streets. I know the plug. I know this little dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one at the Avengers tower. At the Avengers spot, being the Falcon. You know what I mean? I wasn't his sidekick. In the comics, that was Bucky. Get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And in the comics and in the old animated joints, Bucky was a teenager following behind Cap. So we can do that all day.
Yeah. But that was I do appreciate, like you said, John Walker trying to make Sam, because, if you go back to U.S. agent in the comics when he was, I forgot what his original name was, but remember he had the Buckies, the little black dudes. He had two of them, Battlestar and another one.
Right.
He tried to get him down and be my Buckies.
Right. Right. Yeah. Nah, bro.
You know
so again, callbacks to the comics and all that. That's wild.
And then after that Flag Smasher fight, Bucky takes Sam to see Isaiah Bradley, which
I jumped out the building because I didn't actually think that his true story would ever really come to light, other than folk who know him and know his story from the comics. So I was thrilled when they did that. And his and my man who played him was brilliant. Yeah, and Carl Lumley.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man.
Get out my house.
And the fact that Sam kept coming back, kept checking in with him, kept building that rapport. I mean, and so at the end when he hugs him like that,
yeah,
I was done, bro. As a young man, as an old man, I was done, bro.
Yeah,
I was done, bro. And that scene where, spoiler alert, I apologize, but that scene where he showed bust, to me, it took me back to the Tuskegee Airmen. It even took me back to the Fighting 54.
Even though I got the black joke, you know what I mean? Even though it looked like Exhibit was off in the cut to the left down the hallway.
Well, the thing is, the way I looked at it was after you walk through Captain America, you walk through the other Captain America, and eventually on the other side of that will be Falcon's Captain America stuff. So I feel like it's the second part of a full win. So it's not just off in the cut.
Pun intended.
Right now, it's unintended because the rest of the display isn't finished.
Pun intended. That whole wing for Sam.
No, that was the wing. Well done, bro. Well done. You've been pressing.
And shout out to their attention to detail because with the fight on the truck, Sam was getting he was getting kicked back, couldn't really do much with the wings, and then with the Wakanda vibranium wings, you see he could put them into the cement. Got
and
make
wait a second. All kinds of,
wait a second.
That was sick, bruh. They had me 12 years old in some of them knees, man. I'm like, oh
yeah. Yeah. No, they did right. In the third episode, they break out Zemo, and we get the first.
And Zemo in the club. All of that was just out.
They have like I think it's like a 3-hour clip, 3 or 4 hour clip of just Zemo in the club on
the club. I saw like a 30-minute trailer of him, and he was just like he warms up a bit. It's funny as heck. It really is.
Zemo's a cool character. I like Zemo's character 100%.
Yeah.
Appreciate Zemo. They better not kill Zemo. I'm kind of mad that they killed Batroc, but whatever. He was a low-level dude anyway, so you can do off with him as you please.
He was like Crossbones. He germane to the story.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a name just to come in on some hench stuff. But there's tons of names out there that they could just always bring in on the hench level. So goodbye, Batroc. You're done. But I like Zemo. I like his whole angle. I don't want powered people, which makes me question, did he kill King T'Chaka on purpose? Did he set that bomb up like that to kill King T'Chaka?
No, he didn't. Because then he would have went after T'Challa and Wakanda itself for the tree that bore the fruit. So I honestly think Wakanda was even on his radar more than using a African nation as a Winter Soldier.
He was just using the Winter Soldier. Yeah, he was just using the Winter Soldiers.
Yeah, I don't think he had any knowledge of Wakanda in anything.
Because it wasn't in Africa. That one was in Geneva or something. Where was it? It was I was in Switzerland or something. Or
what?
When King T'Chaka died, that was in Europe somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was a conference of some sort. Yeah. When they were talking about, it was a conference of some sort, a peace conference or something like that.
So, I dig Zemo's character. Big up to the comic reference when he puts on the mask. Oh my goodness. And that mask is hard. Cosplay. I'm looking for that mask. If I find that mask, I'm buying that mask. I'm telling you, I'm trying to make that mask. That thing is fire with the pleats and the indent on the eyes. Oh, nah. That thing is fire.
I was gonna say something, but I don't want to. We got like 9 minutes left in the show.
So, all in all, fantastic show. Shout out to the black actors, Carl Lumley and I didn't forgot his name.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Who is and the sisters of the Major. His sister. I mean, everybody. The whole cast is great. Everybody's great. You know what I mean? And they all played an intricate part in telling a very important story. And Marvel has blown me away with their storytelling.
When we look back on it, as you said, those references when you make those comparisons to Barack Obama, to our brothers and sisters in the armed forces and their interactions, you see that interaction through the generations, yes. And it answers the question, why do, young brothers still fight for this country,
This is our home. And the funny thing about it is it's our home, whether the home likes us or not, it's still our home. And that's how we kind of look at it. And when I joined the Army, I was literally like this. I'm going to do whatever I can to protect my family and my friends in my neighborhood, where I'm from. And if somebody going to try to mess with where I'm from, I don't want to be somebody that didn't say they stood up to protect where they're from. If gangbangers do it on the block, I did it on an international level. You know what I mean? I made sure that their way of life stayed all right. And I was cool with that. And then later on in life, I found out that I had 11 members of my family serve in actual civil war. So my call to duty is generational. It's not just me. And so again, as a soldier and somebody who really believed in whether they appreciated my or not, I was still doing it. That whole conversation between Isaiah and Sam was wildly important to me. And it really, it made my point for me. And it literally helped me make my service even more like, damn right I did that. You know what I mean? I stood when it was time, regardless. So, as a motivation for kids, to just stand up and to make yourself known and don't worry about the other stuff if you believe in what you're doing. That whole mantra is beautiful to me. This wasn't just a cool show to me. This was just philosophical. This was spiritual cleansing. This was nationalism. This was a different definition of why Black Lives Matter and why we shouldn't even be having that conversation. You know what I mean? So I appreciate Falcon and Winter Soldier for so many things, and thank you. And keep it a buck for the mental health issues and the way that it breaks that out and talks about it in a healing way as opposed to an accusing or a look down upon way. This was well done, man.
Yeah. I only have like 2 real issues with the show. They didn't do, I guess because it's not a movie, but I was wondering if they were going to do like Bucky's vibranium arm and the Shield team up type thing. You know, like if Bucky strikes the Shield and boom, you get like when Thor hits the Shield, you know what I'm saying? And then the second thing I wanted to see, I didn't get. I wanted to see Sam and I'm forgetting his character's name.
You wanted to see them get down one more time.
No. I wanted to see Sam and Patriot have a more of a come see me conversation. Yeah, come see me at the Avengers compound.
All right, come check this out. Because I knew you were alluding to this anyway in the final segment. And we got about, I know we got it's 4 minutes, but since we started a little late, we make it 6, whatever. Okay. Where I see this going, there's definitely got to be a Captain America 4 now with Sam at the helm.
Right.
In my opinion, Winter Soldier will be his sidekick. He will be by his side, but he will have a council, so to speak, of Isaiah Bradley. And while Elijah is around, in the background, see his development and his latching on to this idea of being a hero now that his grandfather is cool with it. Because remember, Isaiah was not cool with any of it until the finale. And what he saw where this could go, where he even realized, you know what, maybe I could have done something earlier on to keep going.
I don't know. I don't want to see Isaiah Bradley in the council. Leave him in Baltimore. You know.
No. I'm saying as Sam goes back to the house in Baltimore and talks to him about stuff throughout. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
I want to see Isaiah Bradley training his grandson.
But see, that's what I'm saying. As another part of that, there you go. Now he has the motivation to do.
Or no. So where I see it going is just as Isaiah Bradley predicted. Sam put him out there and they coming for him. Whoever, and I'm thinking you got the Contessa. She starts up the Thunderbolts. They break out, you know what I'm saying, Zemo. They get U.S. agent. They find out. Boom, we taking powered people. We taking powered individuals off the table. Isaiah Bradley, he's alive. Go get him. And now we get to see Isaiah Bradley in action. Old head. We get some Patriot action. You know what I'm saying? And that starts the Young Avengers. Because now Patriot got to go find, well, you know, Sam gets a wind of it, but he's late. He comes to the rubble, finds Patriot. You know what I mean? Isaiah Bradley probably is, you know, whooped out or whatever, you know, but he put up an amazing fight that knocked down the house in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Then I go to my theory that Captain America is on the moon and he's playing Nick Fury up there. He's playing Nick Fury as the man on the moon who shot the Watcher. And Sharon Carter was working for him because she is the power broker. You were right.
You just wanted to come full circle.
Steve Rogers is the power broker.
Wow.
Steve Rogers is the power broker from the alternate timeline. All the way from the moon. All the way from the moon.
But Secret Invasion is coming in 2022 on the Disney Plus joint, and that's going to be interesting as heck. It is. to see it all come together. But yo, you're right about that because I know they're introducing a new Black Widow in the Black Widow movie. A younger Black Widow.
I guess.
Who made it? No, they are. So more than likely, she may be the one to team up with Patriot and Ironheart. Because remember, Ironheart is coming as well. So they quietly might be forming a new event, a Young Avengers under our nose. Quietly. Yeah, and Miss Marvel is coming in I believe November of 21.
The TV show?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a series.
It's a series. It's a series coming to Disney Plus. Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Loki next.
Yeah.
And my wife is really looking forward to Loki because she loves that character. She loves it.
But Loki's gonna be fire. Loki's
gonna be. Well, all of them so far have been fire, so I have no belief that the next ones won't be.
They've made DC an afterthought. Sorry, DC. Y'all.
Unless they decide to take Zack Snyder's role and go forward, then sorry, DC.
Nah, man. DC had the comics. I mean, they had the TV series. They got to give that crown up. Wanda, and now Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the way Loki's looking, Marvel's TV series they on point.
Yo, check this out. I hear your theory, and on this one, then I'm gonna end it. But as I heard your theory, here's mine. Contessa is gonna take U.S. agent and find the Punisher and Daredevil and pull them in to the MCU as the new Dark Avengers. Mm-hmm. If not Daredevil, at least Punisher. And probably Baron Zemo, keep it a buck. Especially since Daniel Bruhl had made such an impact as in playing that role. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I do believe we're definitely going to see a Captain America 4 now, and I'm wildly excited about where they can take this. And I like Winter Soldier, or Bucky, as he says at the end, because that's another thing. Bucky never says his name is Bucky until he meets Sam's sister and relaxes in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. After he's done a lot of the work, and then before the finished product with him and Sam playing catch, you see him relax. You see the human side of him. You know what I mean? Not the preoccupied, moody, murky side, but him, old him, the him that Cap actually knew when they were kids. And I really like seeing that. You know what I mean? So again, this whole thing was very well done, and it was way different from what I expected when I first thought it was coming on and saw the trailers and stuff. You know, I thought it was just going to be kind of like Lethal Weapon with superpowers.
Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Sidebar: never trust a Wakandan. Your arm might just fall off on the secret password. They gave you a gift. You better use it properly. Damn you, Jane. Boss, damn you, Jane. Did you know that could happen? No, I didn't know that could happen. I ain't got no arm. What you talking about? And on that note, we're going to end the second episode of The Great Show. Peace.
We'll be back next week with more great conversation, more great stuff to see and dive into. So I hope y'all digging what y'all seeing so far, because I'm having a ball.
Same here.
My brother.
Same time next week. See y'all then. Peace.
All right. Yo, you know Big E was out here yesterday.
Word?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Big shout out to